hello there. Well, look what we have here. We have a new Spring application, which is a pet clinic app. This is made from Java Spring, and I built it with Jenkins. So we're going to build it again, and we'll make an issue to figure out how to build it. So here's Jira, and I want to make an issue to say that I want to change the pet clinic app. So let's make an issue for this. Can we make a new one here? Create. There we go. Create issue. Project. I don't want that project. I want a new one. But let's let me do that. I guess I have to make a new project. I'm not going to do that. So I'll make an issue here. Summary. Going to say change logo on Spring. This thing is called a pet shop clinic or a clinic, vet clinic app from dog, cat to different. All right, summary, description, same thing. There we are. Visual text, medium, well, okay, it's fine. Labels, estimate, 1 day. 1 day, 1 day, 1 day. Let's say it's going to be due when? It's due tomorrow. Issue, okay. Assign the automatic. Assign to me. Okay, let's do that. Let's create it. Okay, it's still showing Tom2 here. I was hoping for a new issue. Oh well, I guess I'll just use Tom2 and update it with this new thing here. I'm not quite sure how to change this thing yet. Open, create an issue. No. Recently created. Okay, I do have something here. So I have Tom3. Oh, that's what I wanted. Okay. Good. So I got this variable here. Tom3 from Jira. Now, when I make changes with Jenkins, we can update Jira as our builds succeed. And you can take a look here at the little VM farm that runs this stuff. So I have 3 production nodes made now. And these are basically running a cluster, a micro K8 cluster. And production 1 is part of this cluster. And it's also a regular production node where I'm just going to run this application here. So I'm going to run this. This is running on production jeffreyfull.com now. It's not running in Kubernetes yet. It's just simply running as a Java jar. It's not containerized yet, but I can containerize it, as you'll see. So that's that. And let's now get into Jenkins and show you the builds. So as you can see from the last video, there's new builds in here. And the first thing I do is I build this pet clinic. So let's change this thing now to build with Tom3. And for Jira, we're gonna add Jira in here. I think it's here. No, it's not here. There is a Jira step here. Build triggers, build environment, pre-steps, post-steps. Okay, there's my commands. Add a post-step. We're going to do Jira here right now. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. Boy, that's different than what I've seen before. And do I see Jira in here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we have to get this set right. Here's my site. GitHub project, no. throttle. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Nope, I don't see what I need here. There's my GitHub hook. There's the shell commands. Let's see if it's in here. Well, so if I don't see it here, I'm going back to a build where I can see it. And on these older builds, this worked. So let's see how it was done here. On any of these old ones here, it works fine. So let's go into here and say configure. So there's my Jira site right there. Let's go to the bottom. Jira update relevant issue. That's what I want. And is it in here? Yeah, so that is appearing here. This stuff is tricky to get Jira to work, and somehow I got it working there on that build. Jira update relevant issue. So with Jenkins, there's always hidden things you gotta click and then fix them. So let's go back in here and configure. There's my Jira, and sometimes you gotta change something here. GitHub project lockable parameterized throttle disable. Nope, I don't see it. I did see a Jira down here on the other one. Build triggers, build. Environment. No, oh, Jenkins, there's a Jira in there. Let's see. Add, create, issue, mark, progress. Don't see it. And I did have Jira showing up down here. Jira, create, issue. No, I don't want to make it. New version, no. Nope. Okay, well, I'm not going to win this battle, but oh, there it is right there. Son of a gun. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Let's see what a long day can do to you. Okay, that's good in that one. Now we're going to fix the next one. So we do a build, and then we're going to send this up to GitHub. So let's see, that's not it. We're going to push it up to GitHub repo. That's what we want. Next one here. Configure Jira in this one. Go to the bottom. Look for the Jira again. Update relevant issues. I think that's it. Yep. Yep, that's it. Here we go. Tom 3. I think I've been at this 14 hours today, so it's a little tiring. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Back to dashboard. And now I'll containerize this thing, and this actually works. This is kind of cool. So containerize it. We'll configure, go to the same thing, go down here to our Jira here and update relevant issue. Change this one to explicit and add the Tom 3. All right, and we have one more to go here. We containerize, and then I'm going to deploy it to our traditional data center here, which is all I got going on production 1 right now. So let's fix this, and then we're all set. And we'll change this and put the Tom 1 in there, or Tom 3. TOM3. That's it. Now, this first build here, this is the one that goes first. and it's got a webhook in it. So you can look at the configuration, and this one here has the webhook. So when you have webhook configured from GitHub, it'll fire in. You got to click this in here, so that's ready to go. Let's explore the webhook on the other side here. So on the GitHub side, let's look at the webhook and show you how that works. We don't need two Jenkins. Let's kill this one off. I'm trying to find the correct, and I should use tabs for this. I don't know why I don't use tabs, but I just don't use tabs. Okay, so this one here does not have webhook. This one here, the first one, this is source code. So this one, when it's altered with the push, you want to fire a webhook. So the webhook is put in under settings, under webhooks, of course. So that's the webhook right there, and I'll show you what it looks like. We're going to put in my URL and 8080 port and GitHub webhook. That's all you put in, GitHub webhook. That's a convention by Jenkins. And I had to put a hole or a mapping through my NAT on Comcast to make that 8080 work. This 8080 is mapped to my Jenkins server, and my Jenkins server, of course, is called Jenkins, and it's running its heart out here on VMware. All right, that's how that works. Now, if we're fortunate enough, we can have some fun here building this thing. So what I want to do then to show you that it works is something simple, but it might be fun too. So as you can see, this app has a welcome on it on the front page, and it's got, whoops, it's got a welcome on it, and it's got two animals right there. I'll do a refresh on this thing. And this is running on the production server right now. So it's running on this server here called production. This server production is part of a Kubernetes cluster, but I'm not running it on the kube cluster right now. So it's just running as a normal application. So anyway, let's change these two, this dog and cat, to something different. So to do that, we want to go into the source code. And here's, whoops, I'm trying to bring the source code over and find it. Okay, this looks like the source code here. And is it? It is, I think. Yep, that's the source code. So to change the picture, this picture gets built into the actual Tomcat image into Spring. So I know that the pets.png is what's on the sign right now. Pets.png is right now a dog and a cat. So what I'll do is I'm going to have this Jeff pets PNG overwrite the pets PNG. So check it out. CP of my pets PNG to the original one, we'll overwrite it. And to show you that I'm not cheating here. Okay, I did that, and if this is a web server running here, the pets would change. So if I went like this now, you would see my pets, but nope, this gets built into the software itself. So you gotta build it. So let's build it, and to do that, we're all ready to go on Jenkins. We got a webhook fired up, so we're just gonna do a git status, and we're gonna say git commit minus message and a message changes of pets on front page mandated by Jira Tom 3 incident. Okay, so that's that, and that will do a commit for us. And did that work? Oh, what, did I do an add? Maybe I didn't do an add here. Let's do an add. Alexa, stop. Okay, git add dot. Okay, now the commit. There we go. Now the push. And this will push us up to our repository. And the build will start. We're pushed to the repository, and this thing should fire off a build. There it goes. It's building the pet clinic. Let's watch it build, and we'll go to the console if we can here. Go to the console output. There it is. So now that's the building the source code from the repo on GitHub on our build machine. Yeah, this app is a nice app. Whoever wrote this test app, they did a good job. It looks like it's almost a professional Spring, just demo or something. So it takes a while to build this thing. I probably could speed it up, but no, it takes a while. Okay, it finished, so that's a good sign. So we'll go back to our dashboard here and see what's next. Okay, now let's push pet to repo. So I'm pushing the pet up to a repo just to keep the jars up there. And this takes a while, so because the jar is like 800 megabytes or something, which is probably kind of a mean thing to do to GitHub, but I don't know. They have lots of money, right? Let's take a look at the console if I can get it. Excuse me. Oh, I can't get the console to come up. There it is. So yeah, it's doing a push up there. And I do that so I can pull it back down to a production system if I wanted to. Okay, so that pushed it up, and let's check out the next build here. Okay, now we're containerizing, and this one is really interesting. So I'm trying to turn that thing into a container, which I can. I just can't run it yet. So let me show you that. So this is Docker now running to containerize the application, and I did run the container successfully on production using Docker, so I know I can do that. But I want to run it under Kubernetes cluster, so and that's a lot of work. I haven't figured it out yet. So I build the container and I tar it, GC it, and I move it to the cluster, but I don't fire it up yet. So this is here as a teaser and a prelude to another video, which you might like, on how to use it on a micro K8 cluster with 3 nodes. I guess I can show the cluster now. Let's log into one of the nodes and take a look at it while this is building. Let's see here. SSH production 2. Let's go on production actions. I have commands in here that are stored. Okay, that'll get us on there. And you gotta be root to run most commands in this thing. Actually, you don't need to be root. No, they put you in a group where you don't need root. So let me go out of root here. Okay, it failed. No space and device left. Ah, that's bad. So look at that. I ran into an issue. So on the build cluster, I don't have any more space. So why don't you and I figure that out? Let's go to the build cluster, and that's due to Docker images. So we'll fix that. SSH2 build. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're on the build cluster, and let me look up a command to remove all the Docker images. So I can say Docker And let's see, can't connect to it. I'm on build and I can't connect to Docker. That's interesting. Permission denied. Who am I? I might have to be Jenkins. I forget how I set this up now. There's Jenkins. I was doing lots of building on the build server, which this is. Yep, okay. Docker. Okay, yeah, there's a pile of images in this thing. So let's wipe all these out because, as you can tell, I don't have much space in this thing. And why doesn't DF work? So yeah, there's only 1.2 gig left. We gotta clean out some Docker stuff here, clean out some images. And I never can remember that command. Let's see, Docker delete all images. There's some guy here that has some commands on this stuff. Delete all images, yeah, this guy here. Okay, so, yep, I gotta memorize these commands. These are fantastic. So let's get rid of this stuff. And where did my window go here? There it is. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Oh, only a few with that one. This one will trash all the images. All right, lots of stuff on this build server. Let's see if it got any better. Yeah, now we got some space, 4.7 gigs. So now what I want to do is restart the failed job on GitLab here, or get Jenkins if I can find it, on my Jenkins server. If I can find out where it went. I got so many windows here, it's a disgrace. Let's see, can I find them? Let's find Jenkins on here. Well, if you can't find Jenkins, start over. It's no big deal. Lost it. Oh, here it is. Just didn't realize I had the console in there. Okay, so let's go back to dashboard. What build was that? That was the containerized build. So we can restart this one. It'll pick up the workspace and continue. So containerize is running now again. And now we'll watch it with a console. And now we won't hit a out of space issue. And then we'll get to the next build, which will push the application, the clinic application, over to our production one, which will run it as a Java jar. And you'll see it come up on the web browser as a changed application. So yeah, it's still running what it was. So we'll change this PNG and we'll restart it. So now we're building the container still. And that, of course, uses a Docker file. Let's take a look at how that works. Containerize a petclinic. And we'll do a configure. So containerizing this thing, I'm using a common workspace, I think. And so what I do is I just grab this image off of this jar file off of GitHub where I stored the built jar file, the artifacts. And I actually make a little Docker file here. So I don't even bother putting this thing in the repo. I just do a touch on this thing and this is a Docker file right here that makes this thing. So it's doing a from Ubuntu image and it's updating that. well, then I make a Docker file. So I will, first of all, from Ubuntu, get the image. I'll update the image. I'll install app-utils. I'll install JDK. And I'll be the maintainer. And then I'll have a command in here. There's one command in the Docker file, and this is to run everything. So Java jar, and I'll run the jar for the petclinic, expose port 8080, and I build it, and I save it, and I zip it up, and that's about it. So that's how that one works. And let's get back to our containerize here. And the petclinic. Looks like it's done, so I think our containerize app worked here. Yeah, it did work. Look at the console here. So containerized, and this is long, so let's go to the bottom of this thing. Anyway, the container building takes a long time, and you want to really export this container with tar and then tar it up. So the container got built, and then I did a deploy of petclinic jar to traditional data center, and so that one is here, and that one looks like this. So here I have everything in the workspace, and so I just want to use keys which are installed from the build server to the production, and I SSH over these commands. So I'll basically remove the old bits on that server, and we'll stop the petclinic. And this stop is done via a sudo command. So I'm doing a sudo of system control as Jenkins, and so I added this to the sudoers file, and you got to have this and the command you want to work with as a non-root user to sudo. So that's how that works without being root. We'll stop the petclinic app, and we will get clone from the repository that has the actual jar in it, and then we'll pick it up. So you might ask, okay, how is the jar picked up? Well, I installed a system app on the production one. So let's not skim. Let's give you the full Monte tour here, and let's go to production one and see how it's done. And I probably should have put that app in the repository, but I didn't. It's not really an app, it's just a file. So SSH to production. Okay, let's go to production. We're on production. SU to root. So now we're on production. Traditional server, this is not Kubernetes. However, it is part of a cluster for Kubernetes. Okay, so we run this file over here. I put in a file here for the, and you can see all the Kubernetes stuff in here. I put in a file for the petclinic service, and let's go over how that works. So all this file does is it's a service, petclinic demo, and after network's up, it'll run this file. Jenkins, and working directory, of course, is going to be home Jenkins, the pet stage petclinic, which is our repo name. And here's the real kicker command here. We're just running a jar here, exactly running a jar as before. So Java jar, and then the actual full path to the jar, and that'll fire this thing up. So let's go for the full smoke test now, and there's our old app running. Now it got stopped, it got reloaded here. So if we do a reload on this thing, it'll come up with a new picture. So after the app built, we did put a new image in here, and it rebuilt the app, and it used the new image. So that proves the whole pipeline works from source code all the way back. And indeed, we could Go back here to the source code again. And there's the images, and we can actually do the original image here. Change it back to the original one. And say pets.png. Put a copy command in there. And now we'll do the git add. And say we missed the dog and cat. And we do a commit and we're all done. And this will start the whole cycle over again. And we'll do a git. Boy, I'm so tired I forgot the command. What was that command? Git push all. Yeah, it's going on about 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's almost 1 a.m. here. All right, that'll push it back up to our repository in GitHub. And the whole cycle repeats. We'll see the whole thing build again, which I'm not going to bore you with that. You saw it run already, but sure enough, this ought to fire up. And yep, there it goes. It's rebuilding it with the original animals. So that's how it works. I'm not sure what else to tell you about this exactly, except that each command here pipelines to the next one using a chaining process. So with each command here, you can configure and you can pipe it into the next one you want to build. And so we're just, oh yeah, we didn't look at our Jenkins yet, or we didn't look at our Jira yet. So anyway, yeah, we just kind of build the next project and pipe it all the way to the end. That's how we're doing this. Okay, and what did Jira do of all things? We can't leave Jira out of the mix here. First, I gotta find Jira. I guess I'll close these up. Don't need them anymore. And yeah, I think my little server here is kind of getting hammered building this stuff. Okay, here's Jira finally. There's Jenkins again. Close that. Here's Jira. So what's Tom 3 doing here? Well, look at that. So we're getting comments here. Success, push pet to Jenkins, deploy. And just now, integrated a build. So, yep, we're getting reports into our Jira issue on our build progress here. All right, well, that's about it. It's been a long day. I still want to get the Kubernetes working. I can show you a little bit of that right now, how far I got today. It's not a complete win, but I got to put an issue on here to get Kubernetes working, right? So let's take a look at that. I can go to any cluster, I think, and fiddle with it, any cluster member, but I think the best one is production because that one has some commands that I was using on it still. Okay, SSH production. And sudo to root, sudo Jenkins. So I use Jenkins on here. I guess I do that because, I don't know, probably want some kind of production account, but it works. So let's see, no history in here. That's no fun. Okay, no history. So let me find the Kubernetes, the K8 install guide, and we'll mess with that for a bit. So I'm going to say micro K8 install. So here it is. So I went through this introduction here, which really worked quite well, and I'm using Ubuntu 2004 on all these machines here. Did this install, that worked out well. I joined the group, so I put Kubernetes in here. So as a user, I put in Jenkins, and I put my own JFall in here too. Okay, so this status is interesting. Let's see if these things are ready here. So I can run these as non-root, and they work usually. So here we're Jenkins. Let's see if that command will work. Takes a minute and it spits out a bunch of stuff if it's running. Yep, so our K8 cluster is still going. And we can figure out our nodes here. So let's see how many nodes we have running. We have a completely resilient cluster running here. Yep, so we got production 2 and 3. These are all nodes running, so we can run pods on these. Get services. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So what happened was I almost had this thing deployed and it got goofed up, so I have to fix it. So yeah, there's our cluster IP. Nothing external yet. So there's some work I got to do to make this demo work for K8. And I did deploy an app on here, but it's just not looking too good because I had some wrong syntax in a file, so I got to fix that in a YAML file. So I got this pod running here, but it had this never pull error, so it's really hard to stop a pod in this thing. I still can't stop this pod. In fact, I can blow out this entire node, which is really wild. I can blow this thing out, and this pod is still running. So I could basically damage production. I can just take it down. And this little guy is still going along. So that's the real power of Kubernetes. In fact, let's try that out. Let's wreck this thing. So I have these 3 little servers running, and I'm going to kill off production 1. So HOST. So we're running production. This is production 1. I'll call production here. So let's kill it. And how do we kill it? I'm going to halt it. I don't have an SQ in this one. Let's go to a different account. Halt. Okay, this will kill production and our site will go down. So we just wrecked our production server, which you should never do, by the way, if you work at some company. And our little site here now is going to be dead because we killed it. So it's gone. But that shows production 1 is down. But Kubernetes is resilient. So we have production 2 and 3 running in a cluster. And 2 nodes will carry us. So let's go to production 2. Let's go there. And I think I'm going to go to Jenkins again. Because I got to be a member of the group. Okay, so I don't have Kubernetes in my head yet solidly. So let's see if anything's running here. Okay, let's get the nodes. We should see there's 2 cluster nodes up because we killed the 1 cluster node. And come on. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, so it says we have 1 cluster member. It's dead. But what's important is our pod still running? Because our pod is our application. So let's see if our pods are up. You can see that. So this application survived a node crashing. That is really, really impressive. So in the real world, when something in your data center crashes and you have 3 Kubernetes nodes, it'll keep running. Your application is running right there. Okay, so let's bring that node back up then. And we'll log into our VMware console here and fix it. So this makes for a good portend of things to come with how we're going to make this pet shop app, this clinic app pet shop clinic work on Kubernetes cluster. So now I've brought up our dashboard on ESXi 6.7. So production 1 is down. It's still running, the power's on, but the node is stopped. There's the halt. So we're going to reset this node, get it running again. Power, let's see, what can we do with this node here? Power, reset it. This will reset it. Okay, you'll see it boot back up again. And there it goes. It's pretty fast, huh? I mean, it's going to start everything. So this will bring up production one, and it's the first node of our cluster. Okay, so production one's up. Let's see if our cluster is healed. So we're on production two now. And let's see if we got production back here. And boy, I hate this thing here. I can't ever recall commands. I'm looking for the command here that I used. Okay, let's just do the get nodes thing here. Let's see if it'll work. Yep, we're all back and running. So that is the magic of Kubernetes, people, and the magic of resiliency. So in the future, we want to get some resilient storage on here with 2 different storage paths, and get our application running, and we'll go from there. So that'll be the next video. Might take me a day or two to figure this out. Okay, well, thanks for watching. This is our whole tour de force of Jenkins building a Spring app. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, so it's mutual. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and don't stay up too late.